So guys, let's talk about eating healthy. Hello my beautiful friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Gabrielle Danelle. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that push notification button just so that you don't miss on any future videos. So for today's wonderful, fantabulous, marvelous, magical video, we are talking about the lovely concept of healthy eating. As you guys can see, I can enjoy a good bag of potato chips, okay? Don't get me wrong here. I love food that tastes good. So I'm coming at you with 7 tips that I use every day to help me make wiser decisions with the food that I decide to put into my body. The first tip I'm going to tell you guys is to remember that healthy eating is a discipline. It's a discipline because, guys, people of the internet, of the world of YouTube, eating healthy, making that decision to exchange that bowl of ice cream for a bowl of fruit is not easy, because everything in your system, from your taste buds, your salivatory glands, all the way down to your stomach, your belly, your tummy, we want things that just aren't the best for us but taste the best. So when it comes to healthy foods, this is an important thing to remember, that healthy foods, honestly, to pick that over chips or garbage or fries or whatever it is that you guys like to indulge in, it is a decision that you have to make that goes against everything in you. All right, we're about to start talking about some things, because I just feel like a lot of the times when I talk to people about healthy eating, I get a lot of eye rolling and, well, Gabby, like, I like this, like, let me live. The reason why I'm coming at you guys with these tips, with this kind of video, well, mostly because I did get questions about this on Instagram and some of you guys wanted to see some tips on healthy eating, but also because when it comes to beauty, what we talk about here, and lifestyle, the root of it is really what we're putting into our bodies. And I harp at this in almost every healthy habits video that I've put out there. This is something that comes down all the way to our diets and our food choices. It reflects in our hair. It has a lot to do with our skin, how our skin glows, the breakouts that we may or may not be experiencing. And again, this is different for every person. This is not a one size fits all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you are struggling with some sort of physical blemish because of the kind of diet that you're carrying, these are some tips to consider. Even if you're someone that eats McDonald's every day or eats Chick-fil-A every day and you are like in perfect health, your skin is perfect, your hair is perfect, that's awesome, that's great. But what I am going to tell you is that a lot of the times down the road, the habits that we employ now have an effect. When we sow, we always reap. And so even if you are someone that's eating whatever you want to eat and you're not experiencing any consequences, those consequences may very well appear later down the road. So this is why it's important to start using some of these habits here, now, today, just so that we can prevent some of the things that can arise from such bad eating habits. The second tip I'm going to tell you guys about is actually starting to choose foods that you like but are healthy. So I get it if you're someone that you're eating out every day, if you are going to Burger King every other day, or if you're going out for fries or milkshakes or whatever at any time of day, any day of week, this might be something with this whole healthy eating, it might be something that it's hard to employ to begin with. So we're going to talk about some baby steps. You know, a baby is born, can't walk, has to crawl first. We're going to talk about the crawling right now. The crawling in healthy eating is really picking those foods that you already enjoy to begin with and employing those kinds of foods in your daily diet. So what I mean by this, when I first transitioned from my diet of Doritos and Nesquik milk, those little Nesquik milk drinks, I don't know if you guys remember those, but that was like my thing. I had to start small in choosing those foods that I like to eat and going from there. So I started with fruit because I've always loved fruit. So to be able to exchange my regular breakfast then that was consisting of pancakes and bacon and like Trix and Fruity Pebbles like every morning, exchanging those sugary cereals with something else that I liked, so the fruits in my case, and then going from there. Tip number 3 is to stop falling into the peer pressure of eating bad. This is a real one, people, because when I first started making the decision to eat healthier, I got a lot of like response, like negative response about it from people closest to me actually. And there's a psychological thing behind it, because when someone is eating bad, like if they're making really poor decisions with the food that they're eating, they kind of feel guilty in a way if they're eating their, you know, hamburger and fries next to someone who chose a flatbread or a salad instead. And this is not a weight thing, guys. Remember, this is not a weight thing. This is a health thing. So don't get me wrong here. I'm not talking about weight and losing weight and restricting calories and counting calories. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is making that decision to eat healthy, replacing those foods that you are eating that aren't the best for you. So when you're going out with friends and you're all going out to Chipotle, for example, pick something on the menu that's a little bit healthier than the burrito. If you guys are into personal development, if you guys are into following entrepreneurs, seeing people that are their own boss, if you notice something, most of them are like health freaks. They eat healthy, they exercise, and there's a reason for this. There's an aspect of discipline and self-control that comes with eating healthy. So when you are making those decisions to eat healthy, it's not even just a matter of being conscientious of your own health, but also employing those skills of controlling your wants, controlling your desires in order for a long-term end result. So that leads me to my 4th tip, is to prolong gratification. This is difficult for a lot of us because our instant gratification is, I want that bag of gummy worms, I want that can of Pringles, and we're not thinking of the long-term consequences of those food decisions. We want that instant savory, sweet taste in our mouth that makes us feel good, because actually when we eat those kinds of foods, there's a chemical reaction in the brain that emits different chemicals of pleasure in our bodies. So that's a big reason why we are so addicted to the candy and the sweets and the oily foods, because of that chemical reaction in our brains. So once we untrain our brains from that kind of reaction to the foods that we're eating, that's when we can start to really enjoy eating healthy. Tip number 5 when it comes to eating healthy is to remember that eating healthy a lot of the times helps you save money. What I mean by this is that, of course, we know that choosing organic shopping over regular shopping can be a little bit more pricey, right? Like going to ShopRite compared to Whole Foods. But when it comes to eating healthy, we are not making those decisions to eat out as much as we do when we're not eating as healthy. When you're not eating out and you're choosing to actually go grocery shopping and choose to go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods over any other supermarket chain, though you are spending technically more in those groceries, you can go home and take those groceries and cook meals with them. Who would have thought? That will save you the money that it would take to go out and buy a quick meal. And this is again related to instant gratification. It does take more time and more effort and more skill to cook food, but you are saving money in the long term when you choose to avoid going to Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or Burger King or Wendy's or Popeyes, whatever, and cook food at home that is actually good for you. Next tip I'm going to tell you guys about is to do your research. Do your research. when it comes to actually researching your food options and actually seeing what it is that you're putting into your body, you are a lot less prone to making those decisions to eat those food options that you know are bad for you. So the turning point for me in this case was when I watched documentaries like Food Inc. and there's a few others, but there's definitely a lot of documentaries and productions that have been put out there to educate the masses about food. When you understand what actually is in food, you are a lot more aware of the kind of repercussions food can have in your body. Now, of course, no one wants to know what's in a McDonald's burger. No one wants to know what's in, you know, non-organic chicken. No one wants to know that. And even I've had friends that I've tried to show some of the information from these movies and documentaries, and they don't even want to hear it. Most people actually do not want to be educated about their food. Most people even choose to stay in that ignorance because that's just how much they love the food that they're eating. Educating yourself, enlightening yourself on food options is really a pivotal moment that you can make for your food decision making that will help you to understand why we're making these decisions. It's not just so that we can seem like we're better than other people or so that we can make anybody else feel bad if they eat at McDonald's every day. That's not the reason. It's so that we can protect our health and our bodies, and ultimately so that we can be wise in the food choices that we are making. The last thing I'm going to tell you guys about is to remind yourself that food isn't just about what it tastes like. Do you guys remember when you were little and you would be forced to eat that really nasty plate of green beans or carrots or broccoli, and you would literally cry because like eating that plate of food would probably feel like the end of your life? Even though we are no longer children, we are now young adults or adults, we sometimes have that mentality of that 4-year-old us or that 5-year-old us, and that food needs to taste good in order for it to be good for us. So in the case that you do not like vegetables and it doesn't taste good, tough nuggets, but vegetables are very important for you. You can make foods that you don't like taste good once you start to learn to cook things on your own. So learning that food is about nourishing your body first and foremost, in that understanding, we're able to take that knowledge and to apply it to our food diet decisions. And even with cooking and foods that we don't really like, we can learn to make them taste good. That is like the most important thing I feel like in this whole conversation, is knowing that food is to nourish your body, to give it what it needs rather than just to make you feel good. That is a very tough thing to accept. It was hard for me, believe me, but it's true, and it has helped me so much in maintaining a healthier diet. So guys, with that, I'm going to end this video right here. I really do hope that some of these tips and pointers are helpful to some of you guys. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you have not already. I would appreciate it so much, and I will see all you lovely people in the next video.